share with you one of those foundations that I'm finally able to look at. Oh. What is up? What is good? What is golden? Welcome back to my very bare YouTube channel. Side note, the spotlight is on me. The sun is just shining through and it's just hitting me just right. So I'm just gonna go with it. Welcome back. I have been in such a cocoon in the past couple years, learning so much about myself. I call it the moments, it's the dark night of the soul, the ego deaths. To me, it feels like I'm having moments where I step out of the matrix of who I am. And so many things become clear as to how I contributed, where I can take accountability, how I was basically playing a part in certain things. Learning, I'm just learning. This light is so dramatic. Oh my God, but we're gonna keep it, it's so dramatic. Anyways, I am here today because, well, I just turned 31. The 30s so far to me have been about going back to ground zero of self, to rebuild my foundations of who I am, my beliefs, and the stories that I have told myself for my whole life. And today I am here to share with you one of those foundations that I'm finally able to look at. Oh, I'm dog sitting. That was Finn, so if you hear any noises or anything. The foundation that I've been able to look at and have the energy to look at and the curiosity and not as much self-judgment is my relationship with money. It's been a roller coaster of a relationship. And I wanted to share this with anyone out there who might be in the same space. I have a couple friends who are also going through this same journey of healing their relationship with money. We're all around the 30-year mark, much might attribute to Saturn return. Saturn's energy, which is of discipline, I would say definitely plays a part into how we're trying to restructure this part of our lives. Over the past 2 or 3 years, I have dove into books about money, learning about money, just trying not to be so scared of it, and really just looking at it as a real relationship. So even though I bought books on it, 2 or 3 years ago, I would open the first page and not actually read the whole thing. And that to me was just telling me that there was still something inside of me that wasn't ready to embark on this journey. There was still some more parts to this foundation. There were still things blocking me from getting to the core of this, to be ready to see it in its entirety. That being said, I'm closer than I was 2 or 3 years ago. I think my biggest lesson that I've learned is not to equate my self-worth with the number in my bank account. And I actually I got a shout out to the pandemic for that. That was my blessing. There was definitely silver linings for everyone, and there was like a lot of shitty stuff as well. One of my silver linings was that because I got pushed out of work, couldn't work because of the lockdown, I wasn't making money, and there was nothing I could actually do in that moment, and I had to have this amount of grace and compassion for myself that I'd never experienced in my life, because usually if I didn't have a lot of money, I would get into a depressive funk. I would feel that I failed. And what happened in COVID in that time was that I was like, Jenny, you can't beat yourself up. There is a force bigger than you that's at play, and just sit down. I was privileged enough and lucky enough to have a family who could, be there for me. That first summer of COVID lockdown, I didn't really have a lot of money to be spending on food, like extra food and stuff. And I would go to my parents' house and I would just relish in their garden that they grew and pick foods from their garden and just like see the innate abundance there that was just ready to give. And I found so much joy out of that. I also started to find just abundance in other places in my life, my relationships and nature, animals. I was really challenging myself to not think abundance only was monetary. Logically, I know all of this, and I'm sure a lot of you watching know that too. Like, yeah, of course we're like worth more than money. Like, money is just a construct of this reality. There's one thing to logically understand it, and then it's another thing to embody that. Because a lot of our beliefs are stored actually within our bodies, somatically at a cellular level. So to do the work and to start to actually shift those beliefs, to me, in my experience, it's been to walk the path, to actually put myself in the path of the learning process. So to get to what I want to talk about, I wrote this Money Manifesto a few weeks ago, and I just wanted to share it. One, as accountability for myself, and so I can just watch this video and hear myself say the manifesto. You want to go out? Here's the Money Manifesto. There's six tenets that I wrote, and I wrote this as a way to just keep myself inspired and to keep myself aligned with this healing journey. So here we go. Number 1, I will see my relationship with money as an authentic one, giving money and me grace, compassion, understanding, and forgiveness. 2, I will continue to educate myself on how money works, aka figure out money's love language. For example, my love language in relationship is quality time, physical touch, and acts of service. And when I thought about this, I was thinking there's ways in which I use money that feel best to me, and if I could really hone in on that, and also just how money works best. This is a relationship. This is a two-way street. Number 3, I will seek ways to continue to be crafty and resourceful when it feels true to my heart. The clearance rack riddle I wrote here, which means to check in with myself on how I'm feeling energetically when I'm going to the clearance rack, or when I'm wanting to buy something more of value. For example, wanting to buy a pair of really expensive shoes that will last me forever versus the fast fashion. I've been a consumer of fast fashion before, and I've seen how it actually doesn't serve me in the moment if it is on the clearance rack super cheap versus something that's it's higher priced and gonna last longer. I know this concept might be very simple for other people, although for me to grow up almost in a scarcity mindset, I think a lot of children of baby boomers grew up this way because our parents grew up with their parents from the Depression era. And so it just trickles down, right? This concept of scarcity. Number 4, I will use money in ways that uplift me versus spending money to fill an emotional hole or to numb from life's hard things. This has been one that I've been working on. This has been something that I've been working on a lot in the past year, just noticing my emotional levels and how I spend money, and just really start taking notes and observing it. I don't want to, I don't want to become too judgmental. I don't want to be self-judgmental, because that sort of environment breeds contempt, and I don't want to breed contempt for myself. I want to breed understanding. And that's really what I've been seeking. Number 5, I will use conscious language to describe my money situation. For example, saying I don't want to say I am not broke, poor, or cheap. Rather, I don't have money at the moment. I seek value and I find richness in everything. Language is so important. Language crafts our existence and our reality, and it's definitely something I notice in everyday conversations is the language people use around money. Granted, you have to take this with a grain of salt. Everything holds an energetic weight, and because money itself as a consciousness, a collective consciousness that we have put beliefs upon as a society, the words that we use then have more power, I believe, to solidify those stories and to solidify what you're saying. You know, I really don't like saying I'm broke. I don't like saying that. It doesn't resonate with me. So I'm just trying to be more conscious. I am being more conscious of that. And the last one, number 6, I will not define my worth by the number in my bank account. The worth I seek is the vibration of abundance within. I want to shout out to Susie Batiz. I took her Alive OS course actually last month, and her teachings on this concept were just phenomenal. I always knew, right, in my head, everything starts from within. To me, this vibration of abundance within is really reflecting my own self-worth in general, in all aspects of life. The decisions I make and the way I feel in this pocket of life, money, permeate out and create ripples, and vice versa, right? So, this one, like I said with my story about COVID and kind of being forced to be in this situation, I've come a long way, and I just write this as a reminder that the number in my bank account will never be enough to explain my worth as a human. And that makes me emotional. It makes me happy to hear myself say that. Yeah, so that's my money manifesto. If it inspired you to do one too, I invite you to do one. Just like reminders about how you want to feel with money. Mine will probably evolve and change as time goes on, and yeah, it's gonna be a learning process, and I'm finally ready to read the books that I bought 3 years ago. I'm ready to take ownership and be empowered by my money versus my money having power over me. So I hope this was an interesting video for anyone going through the same thing. Yeah, turning 31, I'm like, there's no more time for BSing myself. And I know other people are going through this similar situation, so thank you for listening. Hopefully it sparked something in you and helped you with something. But yeah, I also hope to upload more videos. Until next time, blessings.